Peace. Yes, sir. Back on tonight. You know, going to do a basic class. Uh, Tonight, I'm going to break down a main topic in the Bible, which is called the heaven and hell situation. So, in the Bible, and this is part one, in the Bible, everyone speaks about heaven and hell, right? Everyone speaks about heaven and hell as far as you know, as far as when you die, you go to heaven. And when you die, and you go to hell. And these are lies. These are lies. These are not manifest in the Bible. They're not scripturally accurate. So as I've said before many times in the classes that I teach, there are many different topics in the Bible, And then there's something called misunderstandings. Okay, there's something called misunderstandings. Now, religion and people that follow religion believe that when you do something wrong upon the earth, or commit sin, that's when you die. And when you die now, you go for judgment. And then the Lord sends you to this place that's burning with demons or devils that's burning you with pitchforks and so forth. So we're going to get into that. We're going to try to touch on that a little bit. See, that's why everything is about gaining understanding. Let's look at that. Let's look at that verse right here. Right. There are many different topics in the Bible, many different topics in the Bible. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, the 4th chapter and the 7th verse. Okay. I'm going to try to knock out some of the misunderstanding verses, right? But that's why the Lord said this in Proverbs, the 4th chapter and the 7th verse. He says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So, a lot of people misunderstand about heaven and hell and what happens when you die. Okay, so because they go to the wrong preachers, teachers, pastors who tell them lies or misunderstandings, they now perceive that when you are on this earth and you commit sin, then when you die, you're going to go someplace and the Lord is going to judge you and send you to a place called hell. Now, where did they get this understanding from? Let's come back and see what the scriptures say, where the first word of heaven was used in the Bible, right? Let's see where the first word was used of heaven, right? And so it will explain itself to you. Genesis, the 1st chapter and the 8th verse. And the Lord called the firmament heaven. See that? The firmament is the ozone layer. So this is my firmament. This is my ceiling. It is high. Okay, see the ceiling? It is high. So that is my firmament. So that is the word heaven. Okay, now if I step outside into the hallway, that's my firmament. That's my ceiling. That's heaven. Then if I step outside into the street, when I'm looking up at the sky, that is the firmament. That is the ozone layer that he created. And he called that heaven. So the word heaven, the first time the word heaven was used in the Bible was Genesis, the 1st chapter and the 8th verse. And the Lord called the firmament which he created, the ozone layer. Man calls it the ozone layer. He called that heaven, and the evening and the morning was the first day. So now we understand that the word heaven means high. Now we understand that the word heaven means high. So now we're talking about two words, heaven and hell. So hell is supposed to be a place where it's supposed to be torturous, painful, low, these type of zones that you put inside your mind. But yet if you exist in hell upon the earth, where you're in pain and you're being tortured and you're being enslaved and you're being killed and you're being worked, are you not in hell upon the earth? If you're in heaven, I'm going to use an example. Let's look at LeBron James. He's in heaven. He's a multi-billionaire. Let's look at Kanye West. He's in heaven. He's a multi-billionaire. He can do whatever he wants financially. Let's look at all the people that are financially clear in life. They're in heaven. They don't have to worry about if their car breaks down because they got mechanics. Let's take Floyd Mayweather. Okay? Floyd Mayweather has 6 women. Floyd Mayweather has 2 Gulfstream jets, super jets, that was bought for him. Not he bought it, that was bought for him. So he didn't pay for it. Floyd Mayweather has bodyguards. Floyd Mayweather has 12 cars. Has 12 cars. Each car is like $1 million and more. So he can pick any car he wants. He doesn't have to worry because he's got mechanics to take care of it. So therefore, financially, he's in heaven. He's got the best houses. He's got the best this. So the word heaven means that you're living a lavish lifestyle. He's got the best body doctors to take care of his body, to make sure he eats right. He's got the best nutritionist. He's got the best masseuse. That is an example of heaven. Now, physically upon the earth, there was one time that the nation of Israel was in heaven. There was one time that the nation of Israel was in heaven. Let's look at the words. Let's go into the book of Lamentations and see that we got kicked out of heaven. Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. However, the Lord covered the daughter of Zion, which is Israel, with a cloud in his anger. So he got mad at us. Okay, he got mad at us. Right? And cast down from heaven. See that? So when we was in our own land, we were in heaven. When we was in that land called Israel, that other people are living in and fighting and dominating Hamas and the Palestinians and the so-called Jews, that was our land. That is our land. And we were in heaven. Onto the earth, we got kicked out. So now we among the other nations now. So if the opposite of, if the word is heaven, then we are in hell, the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. See that? Part 2. So you must understand the words and the signification of what they mean and who they're going to apply to. What they mean and who they're going to apply to. The title of this class is the Heaven and Hell class, breaking down the terms heaven and hell and the application of them. Do you go to heaven when you die, or do you go to hell? Or is these terms applied upon the earth? This is major misunderstandings of the Bible. That's why it says get understanding. That's why the scripture says get understanding. That's why the scripture says get understanding. And a lot of people don't read the scriptures to get understanding. So there it is. The nation of Israel was in heaven. What does it mean in heaven? We were under our own land. We were in our own land. We had our own laws, our own rules, our own people. Nobody governed us but the Lord. Um, we made our own rules and everything like that. We were in our own land. Now you're not in your own land. So how can you be in heaven? How can you be in heaven? Okay, how can you be in heaven? So that's the understanding. So now for you to understand deeper about heaven, let's go back, heaven and hell, right? Let's go back to Genesis now. Let's go back to Genesis, the second chapter, first chapter, in the 31st verse. And the Lord saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening or in the morning was the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth was finished, and all the host of them. So everything was done. But wait a minute. If you read the entire Genesis, the first chapter, he made no mention of a place called hell. He never created a place called hell. So go and search that for yourself in Genesis, the first chapter, and all the way around to the 31st verse when everything was completed. So why is it that he never created a place called hell? Then if he never created a place called hell, where did you get that from? If he never created a place called hell, where did you get that from? Okay? So now, let's see the coming of hell. Let's see the coming of hell, a hellish condition upon the earth. Let's stay in Genesis, the third chapter, right? And the 17th verse. And the Lord said unto Adam, because thou hast done this, because thou hast eaten, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and have eaten of the tree which I have commanded thee, saying that thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. So what did Adam do? Adam committed a sin. Sin is no more than a crime. Okay? So now let's understand. Let's go back up into the New Testament now. Let's go up into 1 John. Let's go up into 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and the 4th verse. Sin is no more than a crime. Okay? A crime of what? Disobedience and crossing the Lord's law. Whosoever committed sin transgressed also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So you have to be given an order or a rule, and you have to break it, and you commit sin. So now with sin comes penalty, punishment, or judgment. See that? That's how the Lord moved. So now, let me read it again. 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and the 4th verse. What is sin? A lot of people try to trap people off that don't know the Bible and say, ooh, you committed sin. Ooh, you committed sin. But if there is no law, then how did I commit a sin for you to accuse me that I've committed a sin? If there is no rule, because the Lord deals on law. So if there is no rule, if he never gave me a rule, I never committed any sin. I never committed a crime. Okay? So now, whosoever committed sin transgressed also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. When you truly begin to study the Bible, you must become a lawyer, because you must study law. You are deleting from yourself if you do not start to study law. Then you cannot understand the Bible. Okay? So now, let's jump back now to Genesis, right? Let's see the law that Adam broke, and let's look at the penalty for it, and let's see if it's told that he's going to go to hell. Let's look at the law that Adam broke. Genesis, the 2nd chapter, the 15th, 16th, and 17th verse. And the Lord power took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. See that? So now he's given a law. Now, Israelites tell you that there's only 600 and something laws in the Bible that they keep. Those are their Mosaic laws. There are thousands of laws in the Bible, but you must know what law is. Law is a rule or a command or an order, whether covert, whether covert or um, covert or overt. That is a law. It can be given to you directly. It can be given to you indirectly by someone that is in power. Okay? By someone that is in power. So here is the Most High talking to Adam, and he's saying, I'm giving you a law, a rule. So this is before, this law right here is before the Mosaic law that the Lord has given this to you. Right? So this law is given to Adam. What did Adam do now? He went and followed his wife. Right? He went and followed his wife. Now, here comes the judgment. Let's see if it's told to him that he's going to go to hell. See that? So now you must break the Bible down. Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Let's see what is going to be his punishment and where he's going to go. And unto Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and have eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. See that? Here comes the punishment. The Lord is cursing the ground for Adam. So what does it mean, cursing the ground? Look at what we got to deal with concerning this earth, where we should be eating good food all the time, not rainwater, not polluted rainwater and so forth like that. In sorrow, thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life. See that? So this is the punishment or the hell that Adam is going to go through. Okay? Why? Because he broke the Lord's law. Now here comes the punishment. Okay? It says, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. See, thorns and thistles is things that's going to prick you. So when you try to get something done, that's not going to work. When you try to do something here, that's not going to work. Thorns and thistles. See that? Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. So when you put your hand to something, that's not going to work. Something is going to prick you. A thorn and a thistle. If you ever go through fields in Trinidad, when we used to be little kids, we running through all these little stinging nettles and thorns and stuff pricking at your skin. See, so those things are painful in certain jungles and stuff, certain bush. Those things are painful, man. They'll cut through your skin and they'll get in there. So that's what the Lord is saying. This is going to be your hell upon the earth. Thorns and thistles. Part 3 of the heaven and hell. So this is what we must understand. Okay? It says, in sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread till thou return unto the ground. See that? So the Lord is telling them, now you're going to work hard. Where the earth's supposed to work for you, now you're going to work hard. For out of it thou was taken, for dust thou art, and dust shalt thou return. So where did the Lord tell Adam that he was going to go to hell when he died? Where did the Lord tell Adam that? There is no such thing. There is no such verse. Because what happens to man, all men, when they die? What happens to all men when they die? What happens to the flesh when it dies? Let's deal with that. Let's go in Ecclesiasticus. Let's deal with that. See, you must study the scriptures and put them together. Okay, Ecclesiasticus, the 3rd chapter, and we're starting at the 18th verse. I said in mine heart concerning their state of the sons of men, that the Lord might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beasts. See that? For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them. As the one died, so died the other. Yea, they have all one breath. So that a man have no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. Okay? All go to one place. All are of dust, and all turn to dust again. See that? So our skin begins to break down, erode, okay? Because Adam brought death into the world. Adam brought death into the world. So that's why your body's breaking down, your gene structure, your atomic structure, because this is the curse. Where you're supposed to be having life, this is the curse. Who knoweth that the spirit of man goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? See that? So the spirit of man, when you die and the spirit leaves the body, it goeth upward. The spirit of beast goeth downward, because they don't go upward to be judged. They don't go upward to be judged. Okay? So now what does it mean? Let's stay in the same Ecclesiasticus, right? Let's see if it says that you're going to go to hell. Okay? The last chapter of Ecclesiastes and the 7th verse. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. So the dust is going to go through different states. Okay? And the spirit shall return unto the Father that gave it. The Father gave you the spirit, and it shall return unto the Father that gave it. So far, it doesn't say anything about you're going to go to hell when you die. It doesn't say anything about that. So then where's this heaven and hell concept? What verse tells you that when you die, you go to heaven? What verse? What verse, man? That's why the Father says, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. There is no such verse. So what happens when you die? Let's go up into further on. Let's first let's go backwards into Job, right? Let's see what happens when you die. Let's go into the book of Job, the 3rd chapter and the 10th verse. Now, this is heaven and hell. But what I'm showing you is that when you die, there is no place that says that you're going to go to heaven or hell. I'm going to show you heaven and hell upon the earth. I'm going to show you heaven and hell upon the earth. Job, the 3rd chapter and the 11th verse down. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the spirit when I came up out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me, or why did the breast that I should suck? He's talking about when he was born from his mother. Okay? For now I should have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then I would have been at rest. So now he's speaking about death. Okay? He's about a stillborn death, because the spirit hadn't come to him. Okay? He says, with kings. So if he had died, he would have been with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light. See that? This is Job talking about death and the state that happens to you. There, when you die, the wicked cease from troubling. So where does the wicked trouble you at? Where do you suffer hell among wicked people? People robbing you. People sticking you up. Here upon the earth. Here upon the earth. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. So when you move back, your spirit move back to the spiritual realm, you are at rest. You are at rest. Even Christ spoke about that. There the prisoners rest together. So people that's in jails and so forth like that, and they die in jail, they get executed, they're at rest now. Your family, somebody passed away, you're crying and stuff. They're at rest. They're at rest. The small and great are dead. So there's no differentiation in the Lord's eyes between Donald Trump and you. There's no differentiation. The small and great are dead, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and diggeth for more than hid treasures. So what the Most High has done is he's given you an insight into death and what happens. And there are many more verses. I'm going to go to another one. Let's go up into the book of Revelation. Hence the verse, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. Now, once again, we're dealing with heaven and hell, and in heaven and hell, showing and destroying the lie that when you die, somehow you're going to go to heaven and hell. So let's go to the book of Revelation, the 19th chapter, the 20th chapter, and let's see what happens. Revelation, the 20th chapter. Start at the 11th verse. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place in them. So this is the Most High. Okay, this being called God. Just go to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 9th verse. It's going to explain to you who the Most High is. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Father, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of these things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Bang! Oh, there's that word hell. Man, somebody went to hell. Part 4, heaven and hell. See that? And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. See that? Now, let's look at that. Nowhere did it say that when you die, okay, nowhere did it say that when you die, you automatically was cast into this place. This is a finality. This is a finality as to what's going on. This is after Christ returns. Okay? So what happens if you die now? Where's all your family that died now? Did they go to a place called death and hell? No, they never went. No, they never went. But these are the verses. I'm going to give you 2 verses to show you how religions misunderstand verses and take that. And now because you're going to these religions, they're going to take these 2 verses from out of the Bible and say, see, this is where demons is at. And this is what happens to you when you die. Let's go in the book of James. Jude. Let's go in the book of Jude. Jude, the first, well, Jude is one book. We're going to the 6th verse. Then we're going to go to 2 Peter. We're going to go to 2 Peter, the 2nd chapter and the 4th verse. So these are 2 correlated verses that a lot of people do not understand. So they use these 2 verses, and there's also another verse that they say, well, see, this is concerning hell when you die. No, it's not. Jude, the 6th verse. And the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Wait. Listen to that verse again. Where does it say that he's going to send you to a place where these angels are going to be there waiting for you with pitchforks and so forth like that? Where does it say that? Where did these religions get this fire and brimstone that you're going to when you die right now? This is the question that I'm asking you. These are the verses that they use. Okay, and I'm also going to go into Luke, right? You must study to clear your mind, that you're spiritually clear, that you're concrete. And the angels, which kept not their first estate. An estate is your place of habitation, but left their own habitation, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Now, let me break this down. This verse right here is 4 pages long of verses, but I'm going to break it down for you real simple. The angels is talking about is the nation of Israel, because we resided in heaven, in the land of Israel. Angels reside in heaven. We were in heaven. So we left our own habitation because we didn't want the Father to tell us what to do. And he put us in chains under darkness. Darkness where? In our minds. See that? That's why we can't see. That's why we can't understand the Bible. We are in darkness. That's why we fight each other. That's why we hate each other. And ever so he's reserved us. Oh, you don't want to listen to me? Cool. We are in chains. We are locked off. Under darkness. Darkness where? In our minds. Until the judgment of the great day. So only when that judgment comes will he free us through Christ. In a nutshell, that's what that verse means. Now, here's the second verse that religions use to validate heaven and hell. So see, I'm breaking this stuff down for you. 2 Peter, the 2nd chapter and the 4th verse. For if the Lord spared not the angels that sinned. See that? So now what is sin? Sin is the transgression of God's law. Who was the law given to? The law was given to the nation of Israel. So we sinned. But cast them down to hell. So now we was cast down to hell. Now let's validate that. Let's validate that, okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's see. Let's look at heaven and hell in Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Let's look at heaven and hell. Sorry about that. Let's look at heaven and hell, people. Let's look at heaven and hell. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. Heaven and hell is going to be told to you and played out to you as blessings. That's heavenly upon the earth. He's telling this through the nation of Israel, through the first testator, which is Moses. And Moses is going to testify to you a testimony. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. Bang. Bang. Look at that. You're going to be above all the nations of the earth. So just look at yourselves right now. You don't even have the slightest grasp as to what glory of heaven is, of on high. You got a little money. Some of you may have 10,000 in your pocket, in your bank account. You don't know what money is. You don't know what high is. You don't know what wealth is. You don't know what prestige is. You don't know what privilege is. You don't know. You have no clue. Even if you're a black billionaire, you still don't know. You just got paper money. Look at these nations, man. Look at these Arabs, how they operate, the mindset of wealth, the mindset of being on high, of looking down on people like you don't even exist. Look at how poor white people look at you. Look at how poor white people look at you. The Lord said, I will set thee on high above. That's heaven, man, on high. Remember the first verse we started with, that heaven means high. So upon the earth, you were supposed to be high. Let me give you Exodus. Let me show you what you was created for. Let me show you heaven that you was created for. Okay? Let's go back to Genesis 32. Let's go back to Genesis 32. Let's see what you were created for. Let's look at your power. It didn't say about you dying and going somewhere else. No, it is upon the earth, man. Part 5, heaven and hell upon the earth. Genesis 32, verse 24. And Father Jacob was left alone, and they wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and as he wrestled with him, he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. Now the word Jacob means to supplant. The word Jacob means to supplant. That was our original name. Okay, that's why names mean power. Okay, so that's why I don't take on no names of glory anymore, like when I was in Israel and stuff like that, because I am in prison. I am in prison. I am in hell. So why would I try to be something that I'm not? Why would I try to be something that I'm not? So now he was going to get a blessing. And he said, Thy name shall be no more called Jacob, but Israel. See that? Now, what does it mean, Israel? For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. So when you take on the word and the title Israel, and you are Israelite, you are in between. You are in between. God is in the heavenly realm, the spiritual realm. You are in between, and the earthly realm is the nations. And you are the prince because God is your father. A prince is royalty. A prince is royalty upon the earth. Not for you to die to get royalty. Upon the earth, that's where your royalty is. But what does it mean now, this title? What does it confer to you? Let's go into the book of Exodus now, 19th chapter, putting it together for you. Exodus, the 19th chapter, in the 5th verse. What is your title? What were you created for? Right? What were you created for? What were you created for? Exodus 19, 5 and 6. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed. See, everything is about obedience. The Lord said, if you disobey, you commit sin or a crime. If you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure. See, word treasure, okay? Money, gold, wealth, diamonds, stones, unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. So he's making a separation, okay? And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests. The nation of Israel, the men of the nation of Israel was supposed to be a kingdom. Now the word kingdom means male, ruler, domain or dominion, and your title that you're supposed to do is be priest to these nations. A white man is not supposed to be a priest above you. You're not supposed to go to church and be sitting in front of a damn white man or a Chinese man or somebody else and letting them tell you that they're priests of God. The hell is wrong with you, man? Wake your ass up. Look what the verse is saying. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. Ain't no damn white man can stand in front of me and talk about he got the word of God. Nobody. If you're not an Israelite, number one, I don't even deal with Israelites who supposed to be the priests of God. I don't even deal with them because they're a bunch of liars. So how the hell you gonna go sit down in front of these people, you know, your family and all that, and listen to these damn people that stolen this land, killed everybody in this world and set themselves up of God? That means you still sleeping, man. Means you need to dig your damn eye out. That's where you at. But look what the Lord is saying, man. Don't be looking at me like, yo, I'm the one that's formulating something, man. This is the Lord saying that. Your rulership. King is a ruler. So you supposed to rule. Your domain is the world. This is your domain. Matter of fact, Let me show you heaven. Let me show you heaven. The world was created for you. This entire planet was created for you. Let's go into the Apocrypha. Let's go into 2nd Ezra. This entire planet was created for you. 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. Okay? So if the entire planet, and I'm going to read it, was created for you, you're going to have valleys. You're going to have mountains. You're going to have islands, just like the white man roll around in his yachts. And he chill all over the world. He goes down in hotels under the ocean. That's what you're supposed to be in heaven. 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. 10th verse. I'm going to come straight to the point. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so is Israel's portion. What is your portion? Because of their sakes, I made the world. Fight that. The entire planet Earth was created for you and everything in it by the Father. Heaven and hell. Let's look at the hell. So if the world was created for us as being Adam, he says, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed, when I transgressed my statutes, then was decreed, now that it is done. Then was the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. See, sorrow and travail is hell. So that's why we suffering in hell. Look what I went through in the last month alone. My body all broke up, heart surgery, this surgery, sitting in there, my knee fractured. That's hell. That's not supposed to be happening to me. That's not supposed to be happening to me. It's not supposed to be happening to you. But this is the hell that I brought in physically upon myself and to everyone because I disobeyed. Let's come back to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, 2nd verse. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So the Lord is saying, if we had listened, blessings would come upon us. So blessings, we would be in heaven. We would be in heaven. You know what blessing I want to happen to me? You know what blessing? Let me show you a blessing that I would love to happen to me. Let's drop back into Genesis, the 5th chapter. Let's look at Genesis, the 5th chapter. You should want this in heaven. This is the book of the generations of Adam. Yeah, peace. 6th part, heaven and hell. Breaking it down from the Bible. This is the generations of Adam in the day that the Lord created man. In the likeness of the Lord made he him. Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day that they were created. Now, let's look at heaven. Most men, physical men, do not even make it past 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. If you get blessed to be 80, 90, well, my uncles and them, they're up there in the 80s. My father, he's up there in the 80s, okay, which is a blessing. My father, you know, he takes care of his body and stuff like that. My uncle, he takes care of his body. But for the majority, we barely make it to 60, 70. Men, the women outlive us. Okay? But let's look at this blessing. This is God blessing. This is what you're supposed to want. And Adam lived 130 years old and begat a son in his likeness after his image and called his name Seth. So that's the 3rd son of Adam. Okay. And the days of Adam after he begat Seth was 800 years. And he had sons and daughters. Wow. Adam lived 900 and something years. And Adam lived 930 years and then he died. In heaven on the earth. No, not me dying at 60, 65 and what? 900 and something years old looking just like this. This is what you're supposed to want. This was what is taken away from us. And all the days of Adam was 930 years old and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. His first child. So how did he look? Was he old and, broken down and so forth like that? Was he old and decrepit? No, he was in all his vital God force. That was a blessing. You in heaven. The God force is emanating through you. And Seth lived 105 and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. So he was having sons and daughters all the way up 300, 400, 500. Would you think he was frail and shriveled up? No, man. Wake up. Use your mind. Heaven, brother. You ain't got to die to go to heaven. Heaven is right here upon the earth, man. You daydreaming. You daydreaming. Read the scriptures. And all the days of Seth was 912 years and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 815 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos was 905 years and he died. Look, they was living close to 1,000 years, man. Heaven and hell. It didn't say that they were going to go to hell. The oldest living man was Methuselah. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with the Lord, and he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch was 300 something, and Methuselah lived 187 years, and Methuselah lived after him 700 years and begat sons and daughters, okay? And all the days of Methuselah, that's why they always make this statement, as old as Methuselah. And all the days of Methuselah was 969 years and he died. See that? In heaven, upon the earth, you're going to want to live past one day. 1 day is with the Lord 1,000 years. You're going to want to live 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. That's 5,000 years. 6 days, 6,000 years. 7 days, 7,000 years. That's heaven upon the earth, man. But when we disobeyed, we existed in this hell. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. I just took you there to show you a glimpse of what we had. Deuteronomy, let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. A couple more minutes. Deuteronomy 28. No such thing, man. No such thing. So when you go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter and the first verse and the second verse, this is the heaven and hell chapter. Okay? So from 1 all the way around to 15, he's breaking down the good things that would happen to us upon the earth. He didn't say that when you die, you're going to suffer punishment. But the 15th verse, where's the punishment going to be if you disobey him? And it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. From 15 coming around to 68 is curses, which translate into hell upon the earth for you as an individual and your people. And the Lord used the nations on you. The Lord used the nations on you to create hell upon you. He put the nations on you. Let's look at hell upon the earth. In the 28th chapter, he says, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. What does it mean, cursed? They call you nigger all the time. You call yourselves nigger all the time. You cursed. You curse yourselves. Your women, you call them bitches. You got them in booty contests and stripper shows and all these different things that you visit and pay attention to. That's hell. That's disgusting. Look at Beyonce, Jay-Z's wife, when she did the Super Bowl thing, you know, and she put all her crotch out and the newspaper took a picture of her crotch and everything like that. That's hell upon the earth, man. Why would a man want his wife to be doing that? You exist in hell. It says, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. What banks do you have? What businesses do we as a people own? I remember when Bed-Stuy used to be a black-owned area. I remember when Harlem used to be black-owned. When I used to see black businesses in Harlem up on 125th Street, all the way down 110th Street. I remember Bed-Stuy in the 70s. I used to live there. Black businesses, stores, and so forth like that. Herb Gates, all these things. Okay? Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Where's our black banks? Where we controlling the money into our business? None. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. The fruit of thy body is your kids. Your kids are demons. Your kids can't speak properly. Your kids are killing each other. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. So your kids is selling drugs and creating a drug environment, a hellish environment in your own neighborhood, shooting each other up, gangs and so forth like that. Gangs. You're dealing on crack. You're dealing on drugs, all these different things. You're dealing in that. Right? Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land and the increase of thy kind. Cursed shall be thou when thou comest in, and cursed shall be when thou goest out. So when you coming into your own house, you dealing with hell outside, fighting to keep a job, white privilege, Black Lives Matter, hatred of white people and other nations, telling you, nigga, get out. Telling you, nigga, get out. Don't come in here. You have to, these other nations, you fought the white man off. You fought the white man off. You fought him off for equality and civil rights in the 60s. You fought him. And these other nations is thorns and thistles living off of what you did in your glory, and they looking down on you. That's why he said, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. You minding your business and somebody, you in a park, and some Karen runs up and says da 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 and call the cops on you. Now you got to prove that you are legal. And you know the stories, you've seen them. That's a curse. That's a curse. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing and vexation and rebuke. See, all these are hell. You exist in hell. You trying to live, and you don't know why these things is happening, but it is a curse. This is your destiny, because when this was told to you then, it is happening to you now, your people now. It is happening to your people now. Now it's a curse that you got to wear a stupid ass mask. Stupid ass mask. You got to wear this garbage. That's a damn curse. You can't even breathe. You got to wash everything. That's a curse, man. You in hell. What's so glorious about this? You got to come in. You got to wash your clothes, wash your face, because you're going to die. What's so great about this life, man? What's so great about this life? That's why the Lord said, he shall send upon thee cursing. You walking down the block and you don't even want to take your mask off because the white man tell you, don't take your mask off because COVID-19 is in the air. Well, damn, what about the breeze? Don't the breeze blow away the COVID-19? What about that? Is the white man your God, or what? Who you listen to? I can see if you go in a store and there's people there, okay. But now you in the free here. So when the white man tell you jump, you jump. And you say you believe in God? Come on, man. That's hell, man. That's hell. That's hell, man. So you don't need to die for you to go to hell. You exist in hell here throughout all these curses in many different ways. The hatred of brotherhood. The hatred of brotherhood. You love other nations more than you love yourself. You kiss these people's ass more than you love yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord shall, 20th verse, and I'm going to get back into this heaven and hell topic. I'm going to really break this chapter down tomorrow. I'm going to break down this chapter again tomorrow. And thou shalt perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, which thou hast forsaken me. See that? So these are curses that the Lord is sending against us. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until thou hast consumed thee off the land, and whereas thou goest to possess it. See? So the pestilence was last year with COVID-19 breaking out. Many people I know dropped from that. Ain't no more than a curse, live and die. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and a fever in COVID-19, and with an inflammation and extreme burning, and with the sword, the white man with his guns, hell, the white police with his guns shooting you down. You got a gun license to carry a gun, and yet they still killing you. And with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And the heaven that is above thy head shall be brass. So when you end up in jail now, your heaven is that bunk bed above you. That mate that's above you. Your heaven shall be brass. And the earth that is under thee shall be iron. See? So now he put your ass in jail. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven it shall come down on thee until thou art destroyed. See, hell. So where does it say that you have to die to go and the devil is going to be hitting you with a pitchfork? Understanding. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. See that? Here we go, in hell. And thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed. And the carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and the itch, wherein thou cannot be healed. See that? So all these different diseases, we are in hell, man. Stop it. Stop it. Read the scriptures, man. Read the scriptures. You are in hell. You play around, you get different diseases and stuff like that. You are in hell. See, he just broke it down, which cannot be healed. Some sexually transmitted diseases cannot be healed. There's many different things, man. All this because I, as Adam, disobeyed the Lord. So there is no place in the Bible, closing out, there is no place in the Bible where when you die, you're going to go to a painful place called hell. Or when you die, there's a Shangri-La called heaven. Peace.